kuryente, sa ibang bagay, ay kulang pa rin ho yun dun sa mga binibili po nilang ari-arian. So, yun ang sinasabi natin, parang kinakagat po sila ng sarili nilang mga testigo. Sapagkat dun nga sa allowances, hindi naman pala pwedeng bulsahin yun. Dito naman sa assessed value, testigo mismo nilang, yun ang gusto namin i-emphasize, sila ay prinesenta po ng depensa. At ang sinabi po nila, yung assessed value, ibang-iba po yun sa fair market value, ibang-iba po yun sa acquisition cost. So I'll turn it over po to my colleagues.
Siguro, anyway, lahat ng, so far, lahat po ng testigong pinipresenta nila, ang objective naman ay una, ay madalas silang sinasabi, paliitin yung number of properties na kinakailangan ipaliwanag dahil di nga mapaliwanag. So, pinapaliit nila yon, hindi lamang nila pinapaiksi yung listahan, kundi at the same time, pinapababa nila yung value ng bawat isa. So, kung makikita ninyo, kaya pinipresenta po ito, is really to lower the value of, allegedly, of the properties that he acquired, while at the same time, yung unang dalawang testigo naman nila, ay yung tatlo pala, ay para ipakita na malaki ang kinikita naman ni Chief Justice. So, linawin lang po natin, base sa mga tatlong testigong nauna, categorically, sinasabi po namin dito is that based on the three witnesses that they presented, Mrs. Bayuga, as well as Attorney Guevara from the PET, from the SET, yun ay kabahagi na rin po ng kay Ms. Bayuga, pati sa HRET, lahat po ng sinabi nila, nag-amount po yon sa 26.6 million. 26.69 million po ang supposedly sinasabi nilang tinanggap. But in actuality, out of that 26, ang totoo lamang po na salaries and other emoluments ay nagkakahalaga lamang po ng 11.5 million. So, if you look at it, 11.5, all the rest po nung sinasabi nilang kinikita ay hindi kita. If you look at the importante po yung kanina na testigo from the Supreme Court, kaya po natin pinabalik. May sinabi po doon na mga usapin about extraordinary and miscellaneous expenses na nandun po nang gagaling yung iba't ibang allowances na sinasabing sweldo kaya napakarami nung kinikita ni Chief Justice. Extraordinary miscellaneous expense, monthly expense allowance from the PET, the SC Christmas allowance na alam po ninyo ay pwede lamang pang-donate sa mga foundations, expenses allowance as JBC, pati po yung per diem allowances, lahat po ng allowances ng iba outside of the 11.58 million na in salaries over the last 9.5 years, lahat ng allowances po na yon, as testified to kanina, required po yung Chief Justice na pumirma. It is under oath. In a sense, he certifies that the expenditures to be reimbursed without the need of presenting receipts for purposes within the contemplation of the General Appropriation Act are necessary, meaning the expenses are necessary, lawful, and correct, and were incurred by reason of and or in furtherance of the performance of the functions and duties of my position, whether as chairman of the SET, as member of the PET, or as a member of the HRET. So lahat po yan nagre-require ng certification because they are in effect reimbursement for expenses na sinasabi nga po nila doon. So kahit anong pagtingin po natin, even by their own witness, let's just, wag na natin masyado i-complicate. Even using their own witness na presenta po nila, si Attorney Guevara from the Senate Electoral Tribunal, na sinabi nga po nila, number 1 po yun sa bar. Talagang kahanga-hanga po. Sinabi niya, malinaw na malinaw, that the allowances cannot be taken home. They are only or should be spent in accordance to the purpose for which they are being given, which is essentially to run the office. Hindi ho yan po pwedeng gamitin pambili ng condominium, hindi ho yan po pwedeng pambili ng lote sa La Vista, hindi rin ho yan po pwedeng pambili ng penthouse. So, by any stretch of any imagination, all the salaries that he has been able to make in the last 9 years ay hindi ho talaga kayang makabili ng mga properties na nakikita po natin. Now, para sa amin, kung titingnan po natin, is that yung katuwang ng presentation po kanina doon sa pinakita po sa relative to the SALN, lahat po nung SALN ni Chief Justice, no? Lahat po ito para sa amin, nagpapakita talaga that it only shows that the Chief Justice knew he could not in any way justify these purchases. That's why these condominiums were only declared in April 28 of 2011. Parati yun nila sinasabi, declared naman yan sa SALN, declared naman po yan. Huwag nating kalimutan, dineclare lamang po yon April 28 of 2011. When there was already a lot of talk about the impeachment of the Chief Justice. Dineclare ba yan noong 2005, nung inacquire ang ang columns? Wala po. Dineclare ba noong 2006, nung binili po ang Bonifacio Ridge? Wala po. Dineclare ba yan noong 2010, nung binili ang Bellagio? Wala rin po. And when you look at all the SALNs, while they presented this witness today, yung assessor, the assessor can only testify on the assessed value, which he already has admitted is much lower than the acquisition cost. Ang pinaka-importante pong part ng SALN is the acquisition cost. Why? Because sa SALN, sinusukat ang SALN ay isang pamamaraan para i-monitor ang ill-gotten wealth. Are you making more money, or are you buying or acquiring properties or having more deposits in banks beyond your salary? Kaya yung acquisition cost pong tinitingnan doon dahil para masabi, under oath, ito ang pagka-acquire ko ng property na ito for this much, and yet ito lang ang salary mo. Sukatan po yan. Kaya nga ho yan dinadala sa ombudsman at pinapakita dahil ito po ang nagiging sukatan para po sa isang public official kung siya po ay nagpapayaman o hindi. Nowhere in the SALN of the Chief Justice from 2002 up to 2010 na may nakalagay pong acquisition cost. Wala. They are all vague, they're all blank as far as his SALNs are concerned, which is the most critical. So, para po sa amin, malinaw po ito na talagang he's caught in a bind, no? Before I turn over to Kong Erin, he's caught in a bind in a sense that ngayon gusto ho niyang i-claim na yung kabuuan ng kanyang tinatanggap from the Supreme Court ay pwede niyang ipambili ng condominium. Yun po sinasabi nila eh. Kita niyo naman po, may 21 million galing Supreme Court. Ipinambili po yan ng mga condominium, ng mga property sa La Vista. Pero kung isipin po natin, sinabi na po, based on their own witness, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yan for personal use. I'm not saying that. That is the very same witness that they said, ito po ang aming testigo, number 1 po sa bar, at obviously, magaling naman po talaga na abogada, but based on her own testimony, sinabi niya, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yan. And yet, they have to justify these purchases. So effectively, when you look at it, he is also courting more criminal cases afterwards because he is effectively certifying in his payroll that I have spent it for public purposes, but at the same time, dito sa atin, ay sinasabi niyang, hindi ko yan dyan ginamit. Kahit sinumpaan ko pa yan, sinertify ko na ginamit ko for the public purpose for which it was given, in actuality, pinambili ko yan ng condominium. Yun po ang sinasabi nila. So, it only invites, the defense that they're presenting only invites more criminal cases for the Chief Justice.
Dagdag lang, no? Balikan lang po natin, no? Sabi nga ni Kong Miro, from 2002 up to 2010, walang nakalagay na acquisition cost. Ang tanong na pumapasok sa mga kaisipan po natin, bakit kaya? No? At wala naman rason na hindi ilagay yan dahil wala naman tao na pwede po nating sabihin na kung ibebenta po niya yung lupa, na ibebenta po niya sa paluging presyo. No? So dapat, syempre, ang ilalagay mo ang pagbenta mo na isang lupa, at least approximating yung acquisition cost ng bili mo para masabi po natin, quits lang po tayo, walang tubo. Pero yung nakakapagtaka talaga kung bakit hindi nilalagay yung acquisition cost. Dahil dito nga makikita na talagang merong under declaration. Meron under declaration. So, yan lang po. Simple lang po yung pagtingin. No? No one in a reasonable mind would sell the property that he bought, no, at a lower price than the acquisition cost that he purchased. The question, why did he not put it in his SALN from 2002 hanggang 2010?
Sir, we have so many questions about the SALN, but one of the defense lawyers of CJ Corona said na yung nag-fill up nung SALN is Mrs. Corona, not CJ himself. Is that acceptable under law?
We'll have to confirm first kung talagang...
Well, the signatory is Justice Corona and not Mrs. Corona.
Sir, ang nagsabi po nun si Justice Cuevas, kaya daw po nila gagawing witness si Mrs. Corona.
Well, tignan ho natin dahil importante na ang unang-una, ang nakapirma sa SALN si Chief Justice Corona. Ang nanumpa ay si Chief Justice Corona. So wag na natin muna i-speculate kung sino talaga mag-fill up, no? Kung sino ang iharap po nila, handa po namin i-cross-examine.
At ang mahalaga under the law, yung may sanction ay doon pa ipapataw sa filer, hindi sa actual na gumawa. It's not the accountant, it's not the wife, it's not the lawyer, it is the filer, the public official himself. Siya yung mananagot sa ilalim ng batas.
Sir, follow up lang.
Dagdag lang, kung totoo yung sinasabi po, sana naman wag naman magtago sa likod ni Mrs. Corona si Justice Corona.
Sir, if ever lang po na ipatawag si Mrs. Corona, have you decided who will cross-examine her?
Iiwanan na lang po natin sa prosecution po yan, no? I think that is a strategy that we will not also divulge.
At saka, we will in fact decide if we will cross-examine her to begin with. Basta ang masasabi lang namin is, kung sino man ang nandun nagsimula ng mag-cross-examination, hindi sa kalagitnaan, hindi namin papalitan yan, ha? Siguro, isang panghuli po, no? Isang observation din po namin is that yung all throughout the time that when we were presenting evidence, madalas pong sinasabi ng defense is that napaka walang ebidensya, wala kaming tingin namin, baka napakabilis namin magrepresenta dahil wala halos na ipresenta ang prosecution. Pero kitang-kita po natin in the last 3 days that everything that they've been trying to present is present evidence that the Chief Justice does not have ill-gotten wealth. Ganun po. Lahat sa nakarang 3 araw, pinatutunayan po nila or what they're trying to prove is that the Chief Justice does not have ill-gotten wealth. Ang ibig lamang pong sabihin yan is yung provisions po ng Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, yung madalas po natin pinag-uusapan noon, na nung sinabi po nung Senado, tinatanggal po namin ng 2.4, if you remember that paragraph, on ill-gotten wealth, sabi ng Senado, hindi na namin yan pag-uusapan because that's a conclusion of law that arises once you're able to present evidence that the public official who is a respondent has acquired assets that is grossly disproportionate to his salary. There is a rebuttable presumption that arises. What they're doing today clearly shows that we were able to establish that presumption. With the evidence that we were able to present, he had 32 million worth of real properties acquired over an 8-year period, and that he had 31.9 million in PS Bank. He had substantial dollar accounts which he refuses up to today to release. It's obvious to us that if the evidence we presented was so light, why then are they now trying to remove that burden? That burden of proof has obviously shifted to them because we were clearly able to establish that the Chief Justice was able to acquire wealth that could not be explained by his salary. Kaya ito pong ginagawa nila ngayon. In fact, you catch it whenever they try to explain in court, ipinipresenta po namin para maipakita na kaya po niyang bilhin yung mga yan. So that is obvious to us, and we look at it as, in a sense, as a validation and confirmation that we did present sufficient evidence, because otherwise, bakit sila nagpipresenta ng pagkarami-raming ebidensya patungkol doon sa kinikita ni Chief Justice over the last 8.5 years?
Nais ko yun ipaalala po sa atin na doon sa SALENS ni Chief Justice mula 2003 hanggang 2010, meron siyang nakalagay ho na inutang niya po sa Basa Guidote na 11 million po na by 2010 ay fully paid po. So that's 11 million over a span of 7 or 8 years. Kung totoo, kung tama po yung kalkulasyon namin dito sa prosecution na 11 to 12 million lang po ang kanyang discretionary income o pwede niyang gastusin kung paano niya gusto, dun pa lang sa pagbayad niya ng utang ng Basa Guidote, ubos na po yung kinita niya. So it still leaves there's still a lot of questions. Kumbaga, itong lahat ng testigo tungkol sa lahat ng natanggap po niyang benepisyo ay mas marami pa ring itinatapon po na tanong sa ere.
Dagdag lang no sa sinabi po ni Kong Sani, kailangan rin we are looking at it in absolute values. Mas maganda rin kung i-breakdown po natin yan kada taon. Dito natin makikita kung talagang kakasya po yung sinasabi nilang pinagagastusan sa kanilang declaration. Dahil dito rin natin makikita na hindi rin talaga sasapat yung sinasabi nila kung ang titignan lamang is absolute. Pero kung i-breakdown po natin kada taon, lalong hindi aabot.
Tsaka siguro panghuli, dun sa sinabi na lang ni Deputy Speaker Erin Tanyada, is malinaw po yun, no? They try to simplify things by simply showing these are his real properties worth almost 32 million, and this is the amount of money he made in that same period of time. Which is not correct, because yung properties, in-acquire po niya yung La Vista noong 202, in-acquire niya yung Columns noong 04, yung Bonifacio Ridge ng 05, yung Bellagio noong 09. So, hindi ito, ang paglaki ng kanyang sahod dumating nung siya'y naging Supreme Court Chief Justice, which began when he was appointed during the prohibited period under the Constitution, but be that as it may, in May of 2010. So, hindi ho tama pero they try to oversimplify it by saying he made this much, pero ito rin lang naman ang kanyang properties. Wala naman ho silang pinapakitang sources kung papaano na-acquire po yung mga yan. Okay, maraming salamat po.